Ugh. No way to be ready for the podcast than immediately choking on your spit as soon as you start recording. Oh, welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys. This is the That's Good Sports podcast, which every time we talk about Drew Lock seems to be a popular podcast again. So from now on, this will just be the Drew Lock podcast with other football mentionings. We got a lot to talk about today. Will and I both watched the Belichick Saban documentary. Broncos play the Chiefs, so Drew Lock will return to his home state of Missouri. So we're going to probably talk about that for a little bit. Then all of the games. Will is one ahead of me still on the season prediction record for all of the weekly picks. And so we'll do all of that. If you don't know the format by now, I don't know. I can't help you. But maybe you're new here and this is the first time you're listening. If so, you probably already clicked away.
Yeah, no, if you made it past the 1 minute mark, thank you.
This hour-long podcast's average viewer duration of less than 1 minute.
That's all you can ask for, really. Anybody that has the attention span, especially today, with phones and all that stuff. If anyone has the attention span to actually sit down and listen to or watch our hour-long podcast, it's the greatest compliment we could ever receive.
Yeah, no, it really is. You could listen to 3 of our podcasts within one Irishman.
Yeah, probably. Have you watched it?
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. We might have talked about it, but
we did talk about it last week. But I don't think you had finished it. Yeah, I don't think you'd finished it yet. I can't remember.
No, but we did watch the Belichick Saban documentary, and I think there are some interesting things to talk about here. Yeah, I know you had some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, anytime HBO puts out a documentary, it's worth a watch. And definitely this one is interesting. 2 coaches. They both have 6 championships, right, under their belt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Belichick has more, but as head coaches.
Right.
Belichick.
He's got 8 total.
That's a lot. That is 2 more than Tom Brady,
Just saying.
Okay, yeah. Okay, the things that I took away. Right in the very beginning, you learned something very interesting, that both Belichick and Saban are Croatian. And they take pride in being Croatian. I did not know this. And Croatia is a place I always see like a picture of, and I go, oh, shit, that place looks cool. Where is that? It's like Croatia. Like, oh, man, I need to go to Croatia. But then I realize it's because it is in Europe. And it never to me sounded like a place that was in Europe. And it seems
it's like Greece. It's Mediterranean.
Yeah, but it looks cool. So
although if that country is spitting out people like Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, maybe don't want to go on vacation there.
It's just a bunch of like 60-year-old men who only know a lot about one thing and just trying to get you to be the best version of yourself, but doing it in a very sort of boring way.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't want to go there either. Also, Nick Saban did a lot of film editing when he was running footage back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Early in his coaching day. He was having to chop up real film.
Shit looks hard.
He's probably more of a film editor than I am, considering, well, I have edited one bad film, but I've done a lot of video editing, never had to chop actual film. So that got my attention. But really, I thought that they're friends. Saban and Belichick are friends.
Yeah.
But I thought that they should never be allowed to talk to each other, have email communications, or share information anyway, because they're already at an advantage over everybody else. And I don't think it's fair that they're able to enhance each other's legacy by being best friends and learning from each other.
Well, here's the thing, though, is Nick Saban brought this up, and he said, because Bill Belichick was at the Alabama Pro Day, and he asked Nick Saban, like, who's the best player here? Which is a very simple question, and a question I think most coaches would ask. at pro days. But apparently Nick Saban said that coaches don't really ask him about his players, which I guess I understand because most coaches are going to be complimentary of their players and they're biased, obviously. But it seemed like Nick Saban was pretty, pretty realistic about his guys.
Yeah, well, I think he said, like, he's going to always shoot straight with other coaches about players and that he will give them the things he believes are very good about that player. And I think he pitched it as he always, there's always a but. And he said, when I throw the but in there, like, I'm going to be fair to the player and to the coach and say, this guy is, great here, here, and here, but these are the things that, I'm concerned about, or these are the things he has to work on. So he was basically saying, I would be a great source of information for other coaches if they took the fucking time to give me a phone call and ask about players. But oftentimes, coaches who have never talked to me all of a sudden draft a player, and then later, like, something doesn't work out, and he basically said, I would have told them those things about that player, but nobody ever asks me.
Yeah, he also said, like, Reuben Foster was going to be fine if he was in a structured environment, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, well, and that is true. When you're not even just a coach, but just like as a person and you're around other people for, 3 or 4 years or however long it is, you're going to develop, relationships with those people and probably, hope the best for them, even if other signs are pointing towards that not being the case for, a certain player, or that they're going to make mistakes again or something like that. I'm trying to remember you talking about Belichick being there talking. Oh yeah. The thing that I was thinking about when watching them at the combine and was, I wonder, like, how many players Nick Saban has had who he would love to see go to the Patriots and be coached by Belichick, but he knows they will never get that chance because the Patriots always pick at the top of the first round. Like, if I could ask a question for that documentary, it would be like, give me like 1 or 2 players you really wanted to see go into Belichick's, like, system, like a guy who maybe, I don't know, was super talented and you knew that would be the best place. And then maybe a guy you knew just wouldn't last to that part of the first round. But, had just more to give, you thought, and would really kind of hit his, max potential in the NFL. That's when I was watching it, that was something I thought about. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Bill Belichick's obviously he's gotten 6 Super Bowls out of Tom Brady, I think if he had picked like Greg McElroy, I think he could have gotten a couple of Super Bowls out of him.
Greg McElroy?
Yeah.
Was that an Alabama quarterback?
Yeah, it's just some average quarterback from Alabama that scored
Back
like a 48
day.
on his Wonderlic.
Oh, so smart guy.
For a little bit. Yeah. I think if you put most quarterbacks in the Belichick system, you're looking at multiple rings, but
yeah, easy.
Yeah. Someone like that is who I had in mind.
Jimmy Garoppolo might get one this year.
There. AJ McCarron, don't get me started. That's, a potential dynasty, I think. But I had some thoughts on the film as well. First of all, Steve Belichick, his son.
Also, did you move your mic?
Did I?
A minute ago?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you put it just a little too far away.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
There we go. Okay. I was just tired of the blinking light.
Oh.
I think it was getting into the frame, but it's okay. I'll have a seizure on the show. It's fine.
It's fine.
That's okay. It'll be good content.
Yeah. Go for it.
I was going to say that Steve Belichick, his son.
Now you're a little too loud.
Oh, God damn it. What do you want from me? How about this?
I think that's probably better.
How about this?
Yeah, right there. Right there.
I'm not touching it.
Okay.
All right, third time's a charm. Steve Belichick, Bill Belichick's son, he's so obnoxiously like his dad in the way he sounds and the way he talks. I can't. I hate him already. I hate him so much. Fuck him. He talks like his dad. Well, first of all, he talks like an exaggerated version of his dad. It's like if someone like smoked opium or did Xanax and then tried to do a Bill Belichick impression. That's what it would come out like. First of all, like, he's just horrendously ugly. He's one of the uglier people I've ever seen walk the earth. He's got like this horrible like mullet haircut, which is just vile. His face, he looks like he was beaten in the face several times with an aluminum baseball bat. And the way he talks is just so grotesque. And I know he's going to be the head coach of the Patriots one day. And I hate it.
Wow. Really, really going in on his looks there, Will.
Like looks are off limits with the Patriots. Come on.
Well, I'll give credit to the haircut. I mean, that's like that's a choice he makes.
It's a choice to be ugly, I think, too.
Wow. So superficial. This is a body positive podcast.
I'm not talking about his body. I'm talking about his face.
Always has been. That was one of your big takeaways from the documentary.
One of my big takeaways, also at the
which is weird because as somebody who's only watched 75% of that documentary, Will, I have yet to see Steve Belichick in it, other than the Steve Belichick that is Bill's father that they talk about.
Right. Okay, but you've seen or heard Steve Belichick.
Well, I have, but is he even in the documentary?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Okay.
He and his other son, who's much more normal looking.
Interesting. Does his other son coach?
I don't know. I can't remember. Probably. What else would they do? His daughter's a lacrosse coach too. But speaking of his daughter, there's a scene at the end at they kind of supercut together Nick Saban and Bill Belichick walking their daughters down the aisle. And Saban looks normal enough. They both do a wedding dance with their daughters. Very nice. But then Bill Belichick goes up and he gives a speech
at the wedding?
At the reception. And it's so horrible. It's like giving a press conference, except like he knows like he has to like kind of try here. And he just goes like, my daughter Amanda, she's got a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. My daughter, remember the day we brought her into this world? We lost to the Miami Dolphins back in 1984. He literally like talks about like the game that happened like before
she was conceived.
His daughter was born. He's like, got blown out. 29-10. Anyway, that night Amanda was born, and I fell in love with her immediately. Beautiful blue eyes. Anyway, she's getting married today. It was very awkward.
That would be a nice conclusion.
That's capable of conveying his emotions properly.
No, he struggles with that.
Makes for a good head football coach, but a weird person in pretty much every other facet of life.
Well, I mean, I think he's just a guy who likes football more than he does people.
Of course, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think he really cares about like his team and his players, and probably now his son because his son is a coach.
I think he loves his family.
But it's like somebody who loves a thing more than people, right?
Yes.
To me, that's like if I had to try to describe who Bill Belichick is to somebody who doesn't know anything about him, I think that's where I would start.
I think that's I think you could say that about Belichick and Saban. I think that's fair. But we've talked.
Yeah, but Saban seems a little more personable. He seems, I don't know, a little more like he's got like the faux, and I don't want to say it's fake because it's not with him, but he's like got that a little bit of that like hard ass coach mentality, but also like I could feel like I could have a beer with Nick Saban and find a way to have a conversation. Where Belichick, the only way I feel like I could have a conversation with him is if I started bringing up like obscure football references that would, get him going, that he would just start talking about.
That's fair, yeah.
I don't know. Saban seems more normal to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's got a more human spectrum of emotions, I think.
That's fair. Anyway, it is an interesting documentary.
It is, yeah. Would you recommend it based on the 75% of the film you've seen?
I'd recommend it for people who really like football. I feel like I didn't learn anything profound about either guy because
I didn't either.
It's like the shit that they're highlighting is stuff we already know about them. You know what I mean? I feel like they've had a lot of press and attention about who they are. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm wanting more of their actual sort of football philosophy, but I think it's pretty simple. It's like they just coach the fundamentals all the time and try to get people to remember, like, you have one job to do as a player every play, and you just need to fucking do that. And if you're not going to do that consistently, you're going to lose. And they kind of shit on analytics a little bit.
They did, which funny. I thought was funny, yeah.
But it's like I already know all that stuff about them. I was hoping for some real juice, you know?
Yeah. But I like, because like analytics have a place in football, but not as much as they do in baseball and basketball, because you have a longer sample size, like 162 games versus 16 games. Like trends and regression and shit like that isn't going to come into play over a season like it will in baseball.
I think the situational analytics is kind of interesting.
Yeah, like when to go for it, stuff like that.
I'm sure all that stuff helps.
That kind of stuff. And I think coaches are definitely buying into it. But yeah, it's like it's still a game of fundamentals when it comes down to it.
I thought the other thing that was interesting was when Belichick was like just going over the situations. Like you always hear about them coaching situational football. And it wasn't even really like a coaching. They weren't like running plays. It was like at the end of the practice, and he was just going over scenarios for kickoffs in the fourth quarter. Like if we're up by 3 points and there's 2 minutes left and the team has 0 timeouts, what are they going to do on kickoff? And he points at the guy. He's like, what are they going to do? Yeah, onside kick. Now, if we're up by 17 points at the start of the fourth quarter and they have their hands team on and kick return or kickoff, what are they going to do if their hands team's out there? Like, just like having those things, like I think those are like the things that separate really good coaches, where other coaches aren't going to put their players in situations where they feel like like everybody needs to know that, because
and that's
a lot of guys are just leave that to special teams or whatever. And I think when you play for coaches like Belichick or Saban, you're probably always scared they're going to ask you a question that you don't know the answer to. And if you don't have the answer, they're going to embarrass you in front of everybody. You know what I mean? It's like being in the class.
The experience of being a head coach for 20 years, plus however long he was in Cleveland. Like you know the game like inside and out. You know everything. There's very little to uncover at that point.
Right. Which is why, segue, I kind of like Vic Fangio, and I like the way he handles his press conferences, and I kind of like the way he doesn't seem to overhype players. Not everybody probably sees or hear this, but some of the criticism he's gotten throughout the season is he never says anything nice about the players. He never will throw them a bone during his press conferences. He's always saying like they could be better than what they are, and it's like I kind of want that.
For the most part, they could be, especially this season.
Yeah, it's been true. I feel like he's not going to praise somebody unless they, earn it.
And he praised Drew Lock probably as much as he's praised anybody after the Texans game.
Yeah, it's hard not to after that game.
But we've talked about it. Like the takes that radio guys come up with they're just so absurd. But like I respect the ability to fill like 15 hours of sports talk a week.
We have a hard time doing 1 hour a week.
Exactly. Yeah, but like strike these comments from the record in case any like radio station wants to hire us. I'll do it.
We can do 3 hours so easy.
I'll do it right now.
It's like I don't know, what radio kind of just takes the fun out of football for me.
It does, yeah. And we don't have the voices for it. Like we don't have those radio friendly voices.
You're right.
We have podcast voices.
Yeah, podcast voices are for people who sound like turds. Which is
nice. Exactly. Just really grating nasally.
Why can't the Broncos find a quarterback? That's our voices. And then radio.
But if we're on the radio, Vic
William
Fangio hasn't praised Drew Lock. Is this his last season in Denver? Rich Scangarello Why does he need to be fired today? I could do the whole thing just like as John Hamm from Mad Men, I think.
Yeah. Drew Lock.
Why would Drew Lock?
That
Why
kind
would
of
Vic
sounds like
Fangio?
that.
Why
Kind of
would
sounds
he
like him.
not praise his young quarterback? Is it time for Vic Fangio to be shown the door here in Denver?
If you talk like that all the time, you would definitely work in radio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'd be getting girls too. Just like Don Draper.
Is it too early to call Drew Lock a Hall of Famer? We discuss after.
Should we fit Drew Lock for the Hall of Fame jacket right now, or should we wait until after the Kansas City game?
What kind of jockstrap should we fit Drew Lock for?
A golden, large, extra large jockstrap to contain his horse cock. Speaking of which, you can get Horsecock Lock shirts on that'sgoodsports.com.
They are available now. It's not that'sgoodsports.com.
Sorry, Teespring. But you can find it off of That's Good Sports.
Yeah, teespring.com/store/that'sgoodsports merch, or just look at the links in my description of my main YouTube channel. That shirt's already selling pretty well. We've got those and Lock Hard shirts.
Lock Hard, baby.
Which somebody are like, okay, so I last week during the game, I tweeted something about the horsecock lock emojis, and it did really well. And I was like, oh yeah, I should probably look at getting shirts made for that. And I had a designer design them. They're pretty cool. But then somebody was like, you need to make Lock Hard shirts. And a few people responded to it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Lock Hard. I'll do that too. And then yesterday night, Mario Vintanzi or Ben Albright, I think, like responded to my Lock Hard shirt. And then Mario posted like this, somebody did like a design of Drew Lock on the Buzz Lightyear body.
Yeah.
And some guy was just like, this is so much, much better than Lock Hard. Just out of nowhere. I was like, hey, what the fuck, man?
Just don't buy a shirt if you don't like it.
Oh, I'm sorry that Lock Hard isn't as good as a fucking Pixar design animation, man. And it was like one of those things that was so stupid. But then I just started thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, God, is the Lock Hard thing really that stupid? Like, I know it's stupid. It's a silly thing to put on a shirt. But there are going to be people who want a silly thing on a shirt. And it really, I got in my head about it is the point.
Whoa, yeah. Do we have, I think we have like another design on the way probably. I don't know if you've gotten to it, but we've had ideas.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I'm going to do that one on a shirt. I just wanted to make that a graphic, but you can reveal it since it's your baby.
Oh, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Okay. It's good. It's real good.
We'll save it. Has to do with some maybe like some late 80s boy band kind of stuff. If you can put that together in your head, rhymes with lock.
Just think about it, guys.
Yeah.
Before we talk more about Drew Lock, here's my question about the Buzz Lightyear thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew Lock's, I guess that was his nickname in college or something?
Horsecock Lock?
No, Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, no, I think it was more recent. I think it was like Dalton Reisner or Connor McGovern who like made fun of him for the QB wristband.
Oh, they were making fun of the wristband, saying it looked like Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so last game, Locke's playing great, and he does the Buzz Lightyear sort of phaser beam bullshit. Yeah. And now, like Buzz Lightyear, people are running with this thing. My question to you is Buzz Lightyear, is that a lame nickname to have? Is that a lame thing to be compared to?
It's not super intimidating being as though it is a Disney character. What I worry about with celebrations pretty much every time is is someone going to sack Drew Lock or intercept him and then like make fun of the celebration? Because it's so easy to do that against a quarterback because like a quarterback's responsible for, a couple negative plays every game.
Yeah. I mean, Buzz Lightyear, that's like so a defender imitating this, just pushing your wrist after a sack. I kind of want to see that now. Like that's I
really don't want to see it, to be honest. I don't want to see
it. It's not that cool of a celebration.
I don't want to see our beautiful boy touch the dirt once in Kansas City.
Nobody does.
Not once.
I'm just saying, like, it's not that cool of a celebration, but Broncos fans are going to support it because
we haven't had a
Lock,
quarterback celebrate in years. I don't know. I don't remember the last quarterback we had that did a celebration.
Drew Lock could get on the ground and put his legs over his head and pretend to suck his own dick, and we would say, yeah, that is the best quarterback celebration we have ever seen.
Yeah, but that would be that would work because that would be an own on like the defenders that tried to imitate that. It's like, oh, you're just out of context. It just looks like you're just trying to suck your own dick on the field. Also, it might lead to injury. If Drew Lock, as we know, very flexible, very pliable human being. Someone like Chris Jones on the Chiefs tries to suck his own dick, that might lead to catastrophic injury.
Yeah, I mean that's
it'd
be like
about that.
Lock luring them into traps by.
Also, Drew Lock, he's got a much better chance of being able to suck his own dick because it is so big. Whereas most of the Kansas City Chiefs, you really gotta dig your head in there. You really got a ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there.
No, of course not.
So
we also found out about his preference on chain restaurants. I know you and I are both a fan of chain restaurants.
Well, we are, and just not this chain.
No, we both support a certain chain restaurant, which is some would call a rival of Drew Lock's. His favorite place, which is Applebees. He said that after high school basketball games, he would go to Applebees with the boys and get half-price appetizers after 9 o'clock, as well as kiwi lemonade. My question is, why not take a little bit of an extra trip and go to a real restaurant, a real man's restaurant like Chili's?
Got to go to Chili's. You got to get the chips and salsa with the side of ranch.
You have to
half ranch, half salsa.
Treat yourself a little bit. Get the chips and queso. Come on.
Okay, Mr. Rich kid. Somebody grew up rich.
Yeah. Like Drew Lock didn't grow up rich. Come on.
Oh yeah, Didn't he dated one of the Hunt daughters?
Right. Yeah.
So he dated one of the Chiefs owner's daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Someone tweeted out a picture of Drew Lock and his girlfriend next to Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, that was fucked
girlfriend. Up. And I'm not trying to judge a woman based on her level of attractiveness, but they just look like a better couple. They look more natural.
Saying they would be happier together.
They look happy.
The love looked more true.
Yeah, more comfortable with each other. I mean, Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend looks like she's fine, but she had that weird Instagram post a year ago, if you remember that, about like her grandpa dying at the Chiefs game or like during a Chiefs game. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Anybody who remembers that knows what I'm talking about. That was strange. Drew Lock's girlfriend's never done anything like that. Just saying. So yeah, that's just another point for Drew Lock. Some people have said, I think on the Around the NFL podcast, that he doesn't have the face of a franchise quarterback, which is bullshit and stupid and ignorant. Then you should be fired for saying that. But they've also proposed that Drew Lock should grow a beard. What do you think about that?
Is it because he looks so young?
I guess so.
Because every time he comes on the TV, my wife Jess says he looks like a boy. He looks like a young boy. I saw somebody yesterday. They tweeted like he wasn't going to be a good quarterback because he was too good looking. And they said Elway, ugly face; Manning, ugly face; Drew Lock's too pretty. Which
Elway was not ugly. Elway was not ugly when he was in the NFL.
So there's a lot of takes here. If I don't know, can he grow a beard? It just depends.
That's another question. That's another question.
I'll support any quarterback in their beard growing, obviously. I use mine to hide all my problems. So as long as he doesn't start throwing interceptions, and if he beats the Chiefs this weekend, he can do whatever the freak he wants. Frick.
You're absolutely right. Should we talk about that game a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Will. KC right now, 4-0 against the AFC West this season. The Broncos have swept the Chargers, but, they lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Chiefs. And now they will play both of those teams again. And we might have a really good quarterback now. So
we might.
And Patrick Mahomes has some mysterious hand injury.
Right. He's already getting the star treatment in Kansas City where, this will happen with elite quarterbacks. Not saying that Patrick Mahomes is, but whenever they don't play well, the media will make up a fake injury to deflect from the fact that he's just not that good.
Right, but it was apparent he had a hand injury during that game.
Okay. Come out of the game then, dude.
Why?
He's supposed to be the superhuman athlete. Like he can't shrug off a little boo-boo on his hand.
He beat the Patriots with one hand, Will.
He beat the Patriots. Travis Kelce did all the work. Come on. And the referees did all the work.
Dude, it was so nice.
The
Patriots get none of the calls.
It was very funny.
Oh, my God. You just don't see that.
I know you were watching with your Chiefs jersey and your Chiefs hat,
right.
rooting for the Chiefs over the Patriots. But it was very funny, even though I wanted the Patriots to win that game.
Let's just wait until there is an actual situation where seeding would be affected by a Chiefs game, where it would help the Broncos if they lost. We'll see my Chiefs colors then, Will.
Affecting seeding. Anyway, so we've lost to the Chiefs 8 straight times.
Horrible.
But we should mention that the quarterbacks in that span have been a hobbled Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning probably in the worst game of his career.
Yep.
He left midway through due to injury. 2 Trevor Siemian games, the first of which the Broncos should have won. That Sunday night game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, that the defense let them down in that game.
That's when we thought, Siemian was going to be the answer because even in a loss, he played pretty damn good.
So he still could be. We got 3 straight Trevor Siemian games. We got a Paxton Lynch game at the end of the 2017 season. So you had that. You had 2 straight Case Keenum games and then a Joe Flacco game. So if the Chiefs want to hang their hat on wins versus those quarterbacks, be my guest. I think somehow they should have found a way to go 9-0 in those 8 games, considering who we were trotting out there. This time it's a little different. You got Drew Lock, and he's coming off of, maybe one of the most dominant rookie performances ever. 1 win against an 8-5 team on the road, just a dominating performance. Keep in mind, that game finished 38-24. They're up 38-3 after the first drive of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And mercifully, they took their foot off the gas because, Denver and Houston, they kind of, they've got a lot of connections. They've got pals.
Yeah, you got to keep that relationship
nice. Want to dare something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, though, are calling for a Lock regression, saying that a lot of what happened in Houston was luck, which is absurd.
I think that's silly.
It's preposterous.
I thought more luck happened in his first performance than his second performance.
Yeah, the Hail Mary pass interference at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was luck, but obviously you're throwing that ball on the off chance that happens.
Yeah, you're hoping a big completion or pass interference. And Cortland Sutton's first touchdown catch was, I would say mostly Sutton making just an amazing catch. But you got to have a guy, obviously, going to put the ball there for your receiver to make a play. But I would say in that Texans game, there's a lot more tangible evidence to make us feel good about Drew Lock's prospects as a quarterback moving
There's
forward.
also a lot of evidence that we should be excited about the future of the Scangarello-Lock pairing together, because Lock made some really incredible throws in that game. There's no denying that. I can think of, the Noah Fant touchdown was terrific. Just a beautiful throw. The sideline throw to Tim Patrick was one of the more impressive throws I've seen in a long time. And this isn't to take away from Lock, because you still have to hit these throws, and he hit them perfectly. Put them on the right shoulder every time. But Scangarello got a lot of guys wide open.
That's what you
need.
And
I think a lot of that has to, the playbook got opened up because of Lock's arm and because of his mobility, and because of his very early proficiency with the playbook. He's more proficient with the playbook than I think a rookie would be at this point, given the same circumstances of being on IR, et cetera. And yeah, he uses the play sheet or the wristband. I don't think, who has a problem with that? Nobody.
He's learning. He's played 2 games.
Right. Yeah. But somehow the media has made a story about how he's looking at his wristband while he was behind center ready to take the snap.
Lock didn't start soon enough, but now he's being criticized because maybe he doesn't know all of the plays by heart yet, double checking, making sure he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I don't give a shit if the Broncos have to burn some timeouts in the first half because he needs to double check a play or whatever. Who cares? He's throwing the ball like a real quarterback. That is something we haven't seen for a while. And right now, I'm just hoping we see it for, more games through this season. I think last year it was fun to shit on Chiefs fans because they were over, what it looked like they might be overhyping Patrick Mahomes after one game. But now, I want to do the exact same thing with Drew Lock. But I just hope to God, he keeps playing, at the level he played last week. And there's going to be ups and downs with him. And honestly, this is the season for him to have some fucking lows if he needs to. But I think his low is still going to be better than, what we've witnessed recently through quarterback history. So with Broncos quarterback history.
As far as second guessing the coaches, my general rule of thumb is that they're smarter and they're closer to the situation than I am. So most of the time, unless there's pretty obvious gross incompetence, Josh McDaniels, for example, I'm going to side with the coaches rather than, the radio personalities that have 100 hours to fill.
Yeah, I mean, there are people giving Fangio shit because he didn't have Alexander Johnson starting week 1. So
what are you going to do?
It's just all right.
Okay, well, let's give him credit for eventually starting him.
Yeah, he didn't – I mean, Vance Joseph could have started him at any point last year. Didn't.
Exactly.
The guy was out of football for a long time.
Right. Maybe he needed to catch up, learn the playbook himself, get back into football shape. Who knows?
Yeah.
All of the above, possibly.
But, this Chiefs game, Broncos on the road in December in Kansas City, not a good record. Chiefs defense is playing better, but and the Broncos defense has played well, but I think the Chiefs pose a different challenge than the Texans did. So I'm a little worried about the secondary, covering all of the Chiefs' receiving threats. But I think for the first time, if the Chiefs are scoring points, it feels like the Broncos offense can keep up, and maybe they don't win. Maybe it is a little bit more of a shootout type game, but I feel so much better about this matchup than I did, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and they still need to play a little bit of TOP ball, just keeping the ball out of the Chiefs' offense's hands.
Get that run game going.
Keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' apparently mangled hand.
We haven't seen the Broncos
crushed in a factory accident.
In both of Lock's starts, the run game hasn't really clicked for the Broncos. So
that's what I was going to say. Is the first game of the year against the Chiefs sold out to stop the run. and they did a good job of it, and they forced Flacco to throw, and obviously he wasn't very effective. This time, I think if you do the same thing, and I think the Texans tried this to some extent, if you try to sell out to stop the run, you're going to get torched.
Yeah.
By the horsecock himself.
You got to respect the pass now.
You must respect the pass, and that will open up, I think, the run game a little more against Kansas City's defense is playing better, granted, against a weak Patriots offense, but I think there's still an opportunity to run the ball with pretty good effectiveness against this defense. I think you still have to do it early and often. We know that what Drew Lock can do, but it's not the game to get into a shootout, hopefully. I think it's probably a little too early to try to win games.
You don't want to get into a shootout.
Like that.
My point is I think the Broncos can do a shootout now.
I think they can hang. They can definitely hang.
They haven't been able to even hang in a shootout for a couple of years now.
Yeah, they don't have the weapons yet to hang like that. I don't think they need. I think they need another running back and another wide receiver, and then they will properly be able to hang. Noah Fant, I think, is really, really turning into a weapon, though.
Yeah, he's going to.
His biggest people that called him a bust are brain dead imbeciles.
His biggest thing still is learning to make the tough catches, I think, because even his touchdown catch he almost dropped, that great throw by Locke.
I'm not going to fault him for that.
I'm just saying, that's the one area he needs to improve still. And
I would look at the possible touchdown pass last week against the Chargers.
Yeah,
where Locke put a pretty good ball on it, and Fant could have taken a page out of Cortland Sutton's playbook and tried to be a little more aggressive on that one.
Yeah, and even against the Vikings, and I'm not saying they're all very tough catches, but
yes,
he will be an elite tight end if he starts making those plays consistently.
Okay, did you see that little that really great play design where he was the blocker, and then he kind of leaked out at the end, and then Locke just put a little dump pass on him, and he had green grass for miles. He was the fastest looking tight end I've ever seen on that play. Him and Evan Ingram.
Yeah, he's
so fast right there.
He is so much more athletic than – he's got that Julius Thomas sort of speed to put, I think, fear in defenders and what he can do, just comparing to Broncos tight ends.
Yeah. I think he's faster than Julius Thomas. Thomas was – I don't know what about Julius Thomas worked so well because it just looked very easy. Probably Peyton Manning. Yeah.
But it was because he was very athletic.
Well, we forgot he played basketball.
Julius and he played basketball.
He did play basketball. That's probably what did it.
But yeah, I think Fant's going to emerge as a weapon. Next year, all year long, he will be he's been a big weapon this year as a rookie.
Yeah, he's been the most productive rookie tight end.
Cortland Sutton is going to continue to be dominant. Tim Patrick could be that number 2 guy. And yeah, I think they need that. They need the receiver who's going to do all the dirty work, all the inside routes, the guy that Locke looks to on third down all the time. They got to find that piece.
Yeah, and I think it's probably too early to give up on Hamilton. Although
he's getting more targets now with Locke.
Yeah, and you still don't know what will become of Juwan Winfrey either.
Right.
Because we're so quick to label players now. And we like to make fun of that, but rookies, you can't expect anything of rookies really.
No.
Of mid to late round rookies, you can't really expect anything year one, and it's a pleasant surprise if they're productive or they know what they're doing. But aside from you want production day one out of someone like Saquon Barkley or a top 5 guy like Bradley Chubb. But to expect anything of a player drafted in round 5 is lunacy, and you have to give them time to develop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think any
then,
guy you
like I
take out
said-
of the third round, you're going to assume like they're probably going to be a development, type
Yeah.
player, which is got to get some time for them in the system. I mean, there's just so much like as a young guy going into this high profile job, you're trying to learn. It's whether that's changing kind of how you play the game, you have a whole new playbook, a whole new thing you're trying
style
to
of play. Like
digest
college and NFL are
mentally,
two different games.
and the level of competition jumps significantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the guys like Saquon Barkley who can just go into the NFL and they're still that much better athletically than other guys, which is just a little bit now. And even Barkley's struggling this year, whether that's injuries or the Giants just being terrible. There's a lot of stuff to battle there. So yeah, there could be guys on the Broncos offense that in the receiving department that could fill that role. And defensively, what they've gotten out of depth players this year has far exceeded my expectations. And if they can add just a little bit more talent to the defense, then next year it could actually be the year that they make the leap back into being a competitive team.
What I don't want is I don't want them to be like the trendy pick this offseason.
Want to be
Like
the
the
sleeper.
Browns were last year.
Right. Well, that's fair.
That rarely goes according to plan, I think.
Yeah. And they need the consistency of coaching. And with Munchak, with Fangio, with fucking Rich Scangarello, like let those guys just have some time to breathe.
Keep Donatel, obviously.
Yeah. Just let them breathe.
Keep them all, man.
A team that I think might get screwed because their is the Niners with their defensive coach.
Robert Saleh, yeah.
Saleh being projected as like one of the hot coaching candidates this offseason.
Yeah, and they stuck with him through some pretty low points too.
And
he needs to give him credit for that.
Organizations have to start trying to figure out how to keep those type of coordinators around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're a coordinator and you're really, really good at coordinating, and
maybe they're not always cut out to be a head coach.
Yeah, stick around. Like Kubiak did that perfectly, I thought, with the Broncos back. He could have left, I think, after the first Super Bowl and right after the second Super Bowl. But, when you got something good going, fucking enjoy that. Because when you go to another team, they're probably going to suck, and you're probably going to suck for a while. And
expectations are sky high.
Yeah, and if you don't get the opportunity the time to make that team better, you're probably going to get fucking fired. So
yeah, and what we learned from that Belichick Saban documentary is, Belichick talks about like how much easier it was to be a coordinator than a head coach. Like you could spend time with your family as a defensive coordinator because Bill Parcells took care of the problems in Newark. But you have to be as much like a manager, manager of a high level NFL franchise, like just a huge conglomerate with 53 different personalities, and you have to manage a coaching staff and hire guys. It takes so much of a different skill set, I think, to be a head coach than it does to be a coordinator. And some coordinators have that personality where they can become successful head coaches, and they have those skills and the experience necessary. And other guys are just coordinators.
Yeah, and I don't know what Saleh is.
You have to figure out which ones can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a coordinator, a lot of guys believe they can be head coaches and they're not. But just when you're the 49ers could be good for a very long time if they keep all of those people around, I feel like.
Yeah, and I still think they have the talent, and they've invested the resources into their defense where they'll survive a coordinator change. But
that's
obviously,
they'll be fine. I'm talking about like he's going to go somewhere and not be as fine. And a lot of coordinators, I feel like, learn that a big part of their success comes when they have a lot of great players on their defense.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw that in Seattle, like after Dan Quinn left, and the defense in Seattle stayed good for years after him. And, he has had a hard – I mean, he did get the Falcons to the Super Bowl. But he had, a great offensive coordinator on his team in Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan got the Falcons to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So,
the defense is good, though.
I guess it can work out, but I don't know what my point was. Point was like, take the easier job and win some Super Bowls, and then go try the really hard job later.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, we're running very long, so let's let's do these quicks. Pickly quickly. Will Jets, Ravens, the final Thursday night game. Lamr Jackson, 22 yards or 23 yards away from passing Michael Vick. And if the Ravens win, they clinch the NFC North. Also, if they lock their playoff seeding, they are supposed to start RG3 week 17. So
interesting.
Those are all the things I came up with.
Here's my take. Jets.
No,
Jets.
No,
I'm taking the Ravens.
I thought about that today. I thought
this might be one of those. I've got a pick competition to win. I'm not taking the Jets. I'm not relying on the Jets, as fun as it would be.
I thought they might be able to win this game. This could be.
And the Ravens, I think, are due for a letdown, but God forbid I go against my number one rule.
Yeah, they're at home on Thursday night. They are the far superior team.
Yeah.
Jets defense is better than I think they get credit for, but the Ravens are 16.5-point favorites. I'm taking those Ravens too.
Yep. Okay, Buccaneers at Lions. People are talking about, because Jameis Winston is he fills up every stat category. Like a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions, a lot of yards, they're talking about like the Bucs should now re-sign or extend Jameis Winston. Really bad idea.
Yeah, well, doesn't he lead the league like in touchdown passes, yards, and interceptions?
He's on pace for 32 touchdowns, 28 picks, somewhere around 5,000 yards. Ask yourself, is that really going – like, what has that gotten you this season? And where is it going to take you in the future? Do you think he's going to
6 and 7
stop throwing interceptions? Like, yeah, he's
no, he's never going to stop throwing interceptions. If he hasn't learned by now, he's not going to learn.
He's just got that like dumb play gene.
Yeah, no, he's not a smart quarterback.
3 dumb plays a game.
He is going to not read the defense correctly several times a game, and he's going to put the ball where he shouldn't. Always. And he's always going to do really impressive things too. Like, But yeah, you have to move on from him.
Yeah,
but the Bucs are favored by 3.5 on the road to the Lions, who just keep losing and losing. I don't think I don't even know why, if he was healthy, you would start Matthew Stafford at this point.
No. And I would tell the Lions to keep David Blau in until at least week 17.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa on the road.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa as well. Eagles at the Washington Redskins. Eagles won in overtime on Monday Night Football. Not super convincing. Granted, they're playing at home against the 2-and-whatever New York Giants.
Yeah, the NFC East is really bad.
Speaking of, like, we talked about Drew Lock doesn't have the best weapons right now, but Carson Wentz is probably doing the most with the least.
Yeah, Alshon Jeffery's now on IR with a foot injury, so he's gonna have to keep doing the most with the least. And they're in the playoff race. They're gonna play the Cowboys. They kind of control their future here. Zach Ertz is going to be heavily used over the next. Basically, if you're playing the Eagles, just double Zach Ertz the whole game.
It's not that hard. The dumb thing about the NFC East is I could very easily see them winning a playoff game.
Yeah,
I could see the Cowboys. The Cowboys beat the Seahawks in the playoffs last year. Does anyone think that they couldn't do it again this year just because they are going to go like 7-9 or 8-8?
The Cowboys aren't good, but they literally can win any game. They can win any game they play. You can say that about any team, obviously, but Cowboys, there is enough talent there where
things could randomly click.
Yeah, Zeke could have 150 yards. Amari Cooper did classic Amari Cooper this year. Has all these big games, and then
there's no reason they shouldn't be good.
Gone. We talked about that when he came over from the Raiders. And we looked wrong because he played so well in Dallas. We're like, he will do nothing for weeks, and he's doing it again. And I'm not even saying like that's his fault, but maybe defenses just know how to take him out of a game, and then also he'll have like 200 yards now that I said that this weekend.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually going to take the Redskins here.
Oh, interesting.
Give Haskins a little bit of
all right.
credit for how
I'll take Philly.
Okay, the Bears at the Packers. Really uninteresting game to start the season. This time in Lambeau. I will take the Packers.
Yeah, give me the Packers.
Even though the Bears have picked things up, Mitch Trubisky played really well a week ago.
Trubisky's looked good recently. The Bears did lose Roquan Smith. I think that hurts our defense a little bit.
Yeah, I'll bet on Aaron Rodgers though.
Yeah, Packers need to start like streaking now. Now's their time.
Now is their time.
And they are 4.5 favorites.
Patriots at Bengals. Obviously, we know about the whole filming scandal.
Yep. Patriots already know how to beat them.
Yeah, I'll take the Patriots.
Yes, Patriots will beat the Bengals.
Interesting game coming up. Texans at Titans. I think they're tied for.
They are tied. I think the Texans have the tiebreaker, but yeah, this is the first of their two meetings.
Ryan Tannehill has been playing so well. He was one of the few quarterbacks better than our quarterback last week. The Texans are coming off of just an abominable game where, but then again, you're not going to face another Drew Lock this season. So That's the worst it's going to get. But Ryan Tannehill's been playing really well too. He's so efficient. And even on that interception he threw, he just knocked the hell out of that defender.
Tackled such a good tackle.
What more can you ask for?
It was such a perfect form tackle too.
I mean, the man played wide receiver. He could probably play like safety.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill, comeback player of the year.
I agree. He's finally taken the great leap forward. My question though is, if you're the Titans, would you extend Tannehill to like a significant 5-year contract? So that's
probably
kind of the market.
Probably. I mean,
you gotta do 5 years, 150.
I would see if he would. I would see if he.
That makes me nervous.
We could work out a better deal, but you got to feel good about Tannehill if you're the Titans.
Yeah, I think he's earned a pretty solid deal with not too much guaranteed money and an ability to get out of it after 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's worth Joe Flacco money. I'll tell you that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He's worth $20 million a year.
Yes, definitely.
So
I'm gonna give me the Titans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans too. The Texans' defense is starting to become a big concern.
It's a problem without J.J. Watt, yeah. And Kareem Jackson.
God, that's gotta suck to see him play so well.
And Bradley Roby get picked on by Noah Fant.
Yeah. Seahawks at Panthers.
Give me the Seahawks. They bounce back. Panthers are sinking like they did last season.
Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks too.
Somehow we're going to get another Panthers season of all or nothing, and it's going to suck.
Oh, we decided to do the first team for 2 years in a row in our 3-year history of this show.
It's like when we got Hard Knocks and All or Nothing LA Rams.
Oh, yeah.
That was rough.
Lame. Broncos, Chiefs, we'll reveal our picks. No, we got a pick for your boy T. I'm going to take the Broncos.
Taking the Broncos too?
Fuck yeah.
-10 is a slap in the face.
Oh, 10-point favorites, Chiefs.
Let's just say I don't think that's going to happen.
They're 9-point underdogs last week, the Broncos? Something like that?
Yeah.
All right. Dolphins at Giants. Now, this is an interesting game, Will. I did a whole video about this. Because if the Dolphins
really have to play this game.
If the Dolphins beat the Giants, they could trade with the Giants to get the number 1 overall draft pick if then the Dolphins purposely lose to the Bengals the next week.
Yeah, that could work out pretty nicely for them, especially like with the Bengals starting Andy Dalton. Like you can lose a game to them without trying too hard. The Dolphins, but they're too competitive. They almost snuck a win against the Jets, like without scoring a touchdown, which is pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, 7 field goal game.
If they could get like 3 wins in the season, everybody thought they were the worst team in NFL history. Far from it.
Yeah,
Not even the worst team this year. And that's a testament to Brian Flores. He's been really, really good. And I think they, once he gets some talent there, watch out. But if you could, look like the worst team for the first 6 weeks, then win 3 games and still find a way to tank your way back in the last
number 1 pick,
first pick.
Yeah,
that's
some clever shit.
Very clever and has to be applauded.
Clever shit.
I don't think the Bengals will lose more than 2 games or win more than 2 games.
No, the Bengals just have to lose 1 more game. And if it's Giants and Bengals in a tiebreaker with 2 wins each, the Giants get the first pick because they play in the NFC East and they have a weaker overall schedule. So I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this game.
I'll take the Giants.
Ooh, yes.
I think Eli's playing again.
Have fun at your funeral. Have fun at your funeral. Jags at Raiders.
Give me the Raiders. Jags looked
they looked bad.
Broken. They looked broken against the Chargers.
Raiders did not look good either, but I'm going to take the Raiders.
No, but they're competitive for a while.
Yeah, I'll take the Raiders.
And this is the last game of the Coliseum.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. At this point,
that makes me think they're going to lose. That makes me think they're going to lose.
Now, I don't know. I'm okay with them.
I'm going to stick with the Raiders. And then you got Browns, Cardinals. Browns 2.5 point faves.
I'll take the Cardinals at home.
I was going to take the Cardinals too for a Kyler Murray bounce back game, but I'll take the Browns on the road.
Okay, Vikings at the Chargers of Los Angeles. Going to be a lot of Vikings fans here. And I'm taking them.
And Adam Thielen, he should be back finally playing for the Vikings. Rivers had a time last week against the Jags, but Minnesota's defense is a lot better right now. I'll take Minnesota.
Yep, and we've got the Kyle Shanahan Bowl.
Ooh, yeah.
On Monday Night Football to close the week.
That's not Monday Night Football.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't scroll down far enough. I've failed you. Not Monday Night Football. Falcons at 49ers. That's still the Shanahan Bowl. 49ers favored by 10.5. The Falcons could sneaky disrupt things here.
Falcons will either make this competitive or they're going to get their ass kicked.
I'll still take the 49ers either way.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers. Rams at Cowboys. Kind of interesting game now because Rams are on, a 2-game win streak, and they've looked really good the last 2 weeks. Cowboys desperately need a win.
Just give me the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams too. Sunday night, because I believe this game was flexed into Sunday Night Football. Bills at Steelers.
Yeah, well done too by NBC to flex this one.
Yeah, AFC playoff implications abound in this one.
Correct.
Steelers are in the playoffs right now, but if the Bills beat them, that probably bounces them out depending on what else happens. Steelers defense, very good. Bills defense, very good. Quarterbacking, dicey for the Steelers. Josh Allen developing. I'm going to go with the Bills on the road.
I'll take the Steelers.
Ooh.
Not on the road.
Ooh. I think we see some mistakes by Hodges that cost Steelers.
I think that's fair. He played well against one of the worst defenses in the league last week, so I'll just take the Steelers just because they know what they're doing around him, and I think they'll have a plan for Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think
Almost that good.
throwing one touchdown against the Cardinals doesn't sell me. So, Colts at Saints.
I'll take the Saints.
Saints favored by 9. Will and I pick the Saints.
Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Michael Thomas is on some record-setting paces, so you can watch for that.
Is that our only Super Bowl rematch of the week?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, sure is.
All right.
The Jets and the Ravens have never played in a Super Bowl. Just kidding. All right. Yeah. Hopefully, one of us gains some ground. Actually, no. I wanted to come down to
the wire.
Maybe the last game of the year.
That'll make it interesting for me, you, and. You.
Are we going to count the playoffs? Though I think we should count the playoffs.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe the Pro Bowl even.
Playoffs are so much easier because there's so many fewer games.
Yeah.
Okay, you made it.
All right.
We did it.
We did it.
Bye.